but not.
Oh, okay, it's recording.
Oh my God.
Yes. Right. Thank you so much. Got it. Sorry, I wasn't much of a help.
Oh my gosh, so we're only like 7 minutes late.
Yeah.
Okay, so without any further ado, I want to introduce Rob. Rob is from Cascade Anglers, and he's going to talk to us today about Duck Valley.
Duck Valley.
Who's going to Duck Valley next month on our trip?
30 of us are going to Duck Valley.
All right.
So you have a whole
Private hotel.
like eager ladies here.
I will share some secrets today. Like Miss Jill said, my name is Rob, and I am the senior guide for Cascade Anglers. And we are here in the Treasure Valley. We do most of our guiding out of boats. We are also the only exclusive guide service in Duck Valley. So we have been down there for a long time, and it's a fun fishery. You ladies are gonna have a great time. If you've ever been there before, you know how good the fishing can be. And the camping, it's all a big, big fun time. And I'm sure all the camping and after fishing drinks that are gonna be involved will be more fun too, so.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't think Pam knows, yeah, so.
They gotta get to bed early so they can feed the men to the water.
Absolutely.
That's right, we're always the first on the water.
So I am not a big presentation person. If you guys got questions during any of this, just stop me, raise your hand. Rob, man, I don't understand what you're talking about, or that's not gonna work, that's stupid. Just raise your hand and we can make it work. So a little bit about myself. I started fly fishing in 1992 when I was 18 because of the movie A River Runs Through It. So I love that movie theater, and I thought it was the dumbest movie ever. And my dad took me and my brothers fly fishing that following weekend, and I caught a fish, and my brothers didn't. And I just said, that's it. I'm going fly fishing forever now. Went to guide school in 2006 and have been a fly fishing guide since then. I've guided in Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon, so I have definitely made the rounds. I've seen a lot, and I love saltwater fly fishing, so I try to do that in the wintertime, although this year I didn't get to go too much, but I've definitely been around the block. And I see some faces that I've guided before, and I know Miss Brooklyn's on the other side in Caldwell. I guided her and her fiance this past year too at Duck Valley and on the Cabarton. So we guide on the North Fork and the South Fork of the Payette River here. Believe it or not, there are some great fishing opportunities in that place. We were talking about those a little bit earlier. So if you're ever going up there and you want to float, just be careful. There are quite a few rapids, but talk to us. We can set you up and get you going the right way. We also guide on the Boise River. We do float trips and walkway trips in there, but mostly we're going to do float trips in there. So we do those in the summertime once the flows are bumped up and we get it going. So that's a little bit about me. And so any questions on that? Nobody ever has any questions about me, so that's cool. No worries. Let's get to the good stuff. So has anybody been to Duck Valley? I know a lot of you are going. Okay, cool. So a lot of you guys know it is a drive down there. So Duck Valley is a Paiute and Shoshone Native American reservation down there, and they have 3 reservoirs. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the next one. Thanks, Miss Kim's going to run click into the next screen for us, hopefully. As you can see, it's a little ways. It's right at the Nevada and Idaho border. It says here it's 145 miles south of Boise, Idaho. I like to say it's about 90 miles from Mountain Home. It sounds way closer than that. It is a very scenic drive if you like to look at grass and fields and cattle. If you're driving down there, once you get to Mountain Home and you start heading south, just be aware, there are a lot of cattle on the road. I know this is kind of relevant, but a lot of people hit cows going through there, especially early morning, like you were saying, getting up and getting going. Those cows will be in the road, so be aware, okay? And Elko is 109 miles from there. So if you're coming out of Winnemucca, that's not too close either. So it's definitely a drive for sure. So, okay. Okay, so let's talk about the lodging. And the lodging is pretty cool down there, believe it or not. Each reservoir you can dry camp at. So if you have a camper and you want to, camp out a few nights there, you can totally do that. At Mountain View, they do have an RV park with hookups there. I don't know, I've never used it before, but I think it's call and reservation. I'm not for sure.
You need a
So
reservation
do
for
you?
that one,
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I've never done it. We're pulling a boat, so I don't have a chance.
So you need a reservation if you want a dedicated spot, but you're allowed to dry camp almost
Anywhere.
Anywhere there's not like hookups, you could essentially camp.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of people do that. That's what we do. When we're down there guiding, we try to set up our clients day after day after day after day, so we don't have to go back to Boise back and forth. So we sleep in the back of our trucks or on the ground right there. So it's pretty cool. When we're guiding down there and we're down there for, a week or so, we start to get a little gamey. And so what we like to do is the Arrowhead Motel, it looks swirly a little bit on the outside, but they just refinished the whole entire inside of that motel. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, they got big 70-inch screen TVs in there, and you can get ice cream at the front. I mean, it's really pretty cool. So if you're down there and you want to grab a shower or something like that, that's a great place for it. The 7-Star Lodge, I'm not for sure what's going on with that. They've been building it for like the last 3 years.
They're doing nothing.
Yeah, it's doing nothing. Yeah, so I don't know if you can still reserve it. I've never called there.
7 stars.
Yeah, that one is the closest one right by Mountain View. So it looks cool though. I wish they finished it because it looks awesome. Thank you so much. That's all right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the reservoirs. There's 3 reservoirs there, and each one of them is a different opportunity, a different way to stillwater fly fish. So when you're going out there, for us, we only fly fish. So I don't know too much about the spinning stuff and that whole gamut, but I can tell you a lot about the fly fishing out there. And when you're stillwater fishing, you've got the opportunity to catch the biggest trout of your life. I really truly believe that. I've seen monster fish come out of rivers all over the place, but I gotta tell you, if you want to catch a giant fish, it's gonna come out of a reservoir or a lake. So there's 3 different lakes there. Lake Billy Shaw, which is their trophy water. That one's a great reservoir. Mountain View, which is a better catch and keep. Sheep Creek, which is the furthest one away, and it's a little bit harder to get to, but it's pretty cool if you want to make that last little bit of a drive. So we're going to dive into each one of these reservoirs real quick. I'll tell you a little bit about them. So Mountain View Reservoir. This one does have the camping that you can have the hookups at. This one is unfortunately the busiest and the closest reservoir out of the 3 of them. So when you're coming from Mountain Home, this is going to be the first one that's going to be on your right-hand side going into the reservation and the little town of Hawaii. It is also the most stocked lake, so a lot of guys go in there. You can catch and keep. I think you keep daily bag is 5 rainbow trout, so that's a lot of fish. The stocked fish that they put in there are anywhere from, depending on the season, 14 to 20-inch fish. So you catch 5 fish and you want to keep them, they're pretty good size in there. Super easy access. There's roads that go all around that lake. And there's a lot of little bays, as you can see. I wish I had a little thing, but there's a lot of these little bays like around in here that a lot of people don't get to. They just go straight to the boat ramp and fish the dam. But these little fingers, if you're in a flow tube, it's pretty shallow. It's kind of muddy a little bit, but if you can get in some of those fingers, those fish will push in there to eat, and it's really pretty cool time. Usually there's not a lot of people in there. They're in the big boats with motors and swirling around out there in the open water. But you can sneak in there in those little coves and the wind's blowing and you're out of the wind. It's a great time. Super great time.
Can you emphasize that just a bit more? Can you make sure you show us which ones are? I'm just gonna put out there to the ladies, we have 30 people signed up for the last week of April. BVFF has 30 people signed up. There's gonna be 60 fisher people out there that weekend. So knowing where we might get away from just that cove to the right would be super helpful for us.
Do you want me to, are you guys gonna go to?
Again, I didn't quite catch which coves you were looking at.
I was just saying any cove. Are you guys looking to just do like camping?
At Mountain View.
At Mountain View? Okay, yeah, that one's got a campground by the boat ramp right
That's
there.
where we're staying.
Yeah, so that's perfect right there, but the road, you can get on the road and go over the dam and come right on the other side, and the road kind of follows the lake a little bit, and you can put your float tube in or your boat or whatever and kind of get away from everybody, because everybody likes to go straight to the dam. It's the deepest part. And I mean, there's fish there, but it's sometimes nice just to get out of the
You can
wind.
drive all the way
You can drive around. Mhm.
around and then keep going past those first couple fingers and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any of those little fingers, like right here, you can see these little dots are kind of dirt roads that you can go around. But up there where it says the camp, you can come around. This is a decent road. Any of these little points right here, you can see you can get out to it.
Been in
Or
those.
coming around. Yeah, those are great points back in here. There's actually some carp in there too. I don't know if anybody's ever caught carp on a fly rod. It's a hoot if you get them to eat. It is a hoot.
Bats in there now.
Yeah, there are some smallmouth bass. We're gonna talk about that in just a few minutes, fam. Yeah, Miss Fam's seen this before, I think. But anyway, yes, any of those in there. And if you've got a big group, it might be best to say, hey, you know what? Today we're gonna fish Mountain View. Tomorrow, let's go over to Billy Shaw or to Sheep Creek, just to kind of. There's gonna be 60 people on that one reservoir. Yeah, it's a big reservoir, but you could definitely fit 60 people there. So it's a little crazy. But
Thank you.
yeah, no worries, no worries.
Liz has a question.
This, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask or comment about those little roads that go back there, because some, especially if it's rained, I think they can be pretty gnarly.
They
and,
can.
I think Greta tried to do it with her Prius and.
Oh, yeah, that one, I don't know if I would do it with the Prius.
Yeah, so I think, just maybe we just need to let people know if they already do it. I think they probably want to have that bike there, it's their four-wheel drive.
Right, yeah, especially once you get into the little dotted area, those roads are, I mean, they're roads, but they're definitely not improved. I should say.
Suggestions.
All right. So much. Okay, so Lake Billy Shaw, this is the reservoir that we mostly guide at. This reservoir is considered their trophy reservoir, and you used to have to pay extra on top of the license to fish here. A few years ago, they decided to say, hey, you know what? Forget all that. Let's just open it up. So this reservoir right here is a fun place. It's my favorite out of the three. It's a little bit easier access, great camping as well, just no, electric or water. Great places to camp. As you can see, the road goes around. Once again, if it does rain, it does get a little squirrely. There is a boat ramp there. There's actually two of them, and I don't know why it's not on the map there, but one's up at the top and then one's up here.
Where's the dam part?
Yeah, the dam's gonna be very,
That little
very tip
thing up
top.
there, okay, so
Yeah,
that's where we were.
That's it.
Okay.
This main finger that comes down right here, once you get about right in here, it starts to get really shallow, but into this point right here, you can camp on either side and on this point. Great fishing right in there, ladies. I can't stress you enough. It is great. And a lot of people not in there. Yeah. And if my counterpart, Shane, he would be kicking me in the butt right now because I was telling you ladies that, because it's just really good. It's a great place to fish. I like it because also you got the Independence Mountain Range. Anywhere you look south, you just see the mountains right there. It's really pretty. It's really pretty. So here, as you can see, it says bag limit 1 rainbow, 16 to 19 inches. We have caught some monster fish in there. Last year, I think the biggest fish we had a client catch on the scale was 15 pounds. They are big fish in there. It doesn't open until April 1st. And since you guys asked me to do this presentation, I'm going to tell you, if you are going down there the last part of April, they will have stocked the first time at Billy Shaw. I don't know how many, probably 250 to 350, 8 to 12 pound rainbows in there at that time. So you guys are coming in to good time at Billy Shaw. They'll stock the other two reservoirs as well too. That's it. Real quick too, no gas powered motors. We don't ever see anybody out there with gas powered motors, but if you got a boat and you got a little trolling motor, you can use that. So, right.
We caught a bunch of perch there last.
Yeah. So, with that, we are required, if clients catch a perch, we are required to take them out. They don't want them in there because they will take them over. I don't eat fish. I know that sounds funny, but I think it's disgusting. It's just like, yeah, it's nasty. But I heard that that's like one of the best eating fish, that and walleye. So if you're out there and you catch them, maybe you can keep them. We do use patterns that look like little baby perch that we catch fish on at Billy Shaw. So All right, so Sheep Creek, this one is the furthest one away coming from Mountain Home. So you're gonna have to go through the little town of Hawaii, hang that right, and you're gonna pass Billy Shaw turnoff, and you're gonna go all the way out to Sheep Creek. It's another 5 miles from the turnoff to Billy Shaw. This one is more, as it says, more remote. It is more remote. There's not really any place to do, like if you want to put a drift boat in, you got to find the spot to slip it in there. Great float tube fishing. It is a little bit different watercolors we've got here. It says cloudy water. It is kind of a bluish color water. I don't know what it's from. I don't know if it's from the acidity from the rocks or whatever that's coming off, but there are some big fish in there too. This one is, like I said, a little bit further out there. So if you're not for sure if your car can make it, I wouldn't try to make it to this one. Or if you're almost out of gas, I wouldn't try to push to this one.
12 miles.
Yeah, it's in the road getting there itself. We'll go back to the mud. I have had to get my truck like totally detailed out. It is a muddy, sloppy mess. Especially if it snows. What's that? Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's a sloppy mess. But it's a fun place, mostly because there's nobody there. Usually there's everybody's at Mountain View or Billy Shaw.
Back, like there's the dam, right?
Yeah, so this right here is the dam right here. Yeah, so it's
Okay,
right
so
here.
that's the dam, okay.
Yeah, as you can see, all these roads that are right here, this is just a mess. It's a mess right here. So, yeah, it's pretty cool though. It's a deep reservoir too, and so this would have a lot of shelves and stuff on the bottom so those fish can hold. And so, but it's a pretty reservoir. You're really bucked up against a big bluff and everything. So, all right, so let's get to the huge. This is what everybody wants to talk about. Okay, so fly fishing methods out there. This is where we talk about a few different things: streamers, nymphs, and dry fly fishing. Okay, so when we're guiding out there, or if we're just fishing out there, most of the time we are going to nymph. We're going to nymph chironomid and a leech. We'll start off. Sometimes we'll run 2 leeches. Sometimes we'll run 2 chironomids if we're knowing exactly what they got going on. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to show you ladies how we kind of rig it up with us here. Yeah, so with our clients, we have the Lamson 10-foot rods that we use. And so that way they got a little bit easier cast out of the boat. So what I'm going to do is show you. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to see this, but I will do my best to show you.
What weight is your one?
So we are on 6 weight, just because there are some big fish in there, and they like to go right for the anchor rope. So we like to have a little bit of backbone, but you can totally get away with in there with like a 5 weight if you needed to. Optimal is 6 or 7 weight is what I would do. Okay. So I'm just going to show you how we kind of rig it up. We rig it just a little bit different. This is not the only way to rig up this rod for stillwater. This is the method that works for us. And so you're welcome to take a look at it after we're done, or you can run it however you want. I'm just showing you how we do it. We have a small piece of butt section that is 12 pounds right here. And then we put our Jadicator on there. So this is just going to connect right to our fly line. And from there, we have a nice little swivel. Okay, I know, ladies. That's usually about my arm length to my chest. Okay. So probably about 4 foot. Okay. Yeah, so the swivel right here, when you have an indicator on with this longer leader, it wants to spin. So we throw a swivel on there so that way everything just doesn't get tangled up because of the wind blowing or our great castings that we all do, and especially water loading, bringing it up over the boat, and I'm trying not to get hooked. So we throw that swivel on there, okay? And then from there, like I said, it's 12 to 15 pound mono, just straight mono. You don't have to worry about any fluorocarbon, anything like that on this butt section. From there, like I said, we got the barrel swivel. From there, we're gonna come down to a tippet ring, and this is gonna be a little bit longer. We're gonna come down from there. That one's gonna be double. So this is going to be 3x. Okay. So we go swivel to our tippet ring. Okay. And from our tippet ring, that's when we're going to go to fluorocarbon. We use 3 and 4x. We have our first fly, which is going to be our chironomid, which is going to be a little bit shorter of a tag end. As you can see, this is going to be top fly is gonna be your chironomid, and your bottom is gonna be the leech, okay? Rob, why are you setting it up like that? Why can't you put the chironomid on the bottom? Great question, Pam. So let me just tell you.
I just totally.
I just get it. So what happens is when it's under the water, that leech is gonna keep it straight down and it's gonna be right above the weeds and your bobber is gonna be here. And you wanna put that leech, your bottom fly, right above the weed bed, okay? If you're too far down, you're not gonna catch any fish. The fish are gonna not eat it in the weeds. So you want to make sure you're gonna have to adjust this bobber up or down as you're going. And if you feel like you're getting caught in the weeds, move the bobber down a little bit. But you want that bottom leech to be able to balance up and down. And with the waves going, it's gonna look just like that, okay? And the chironomid, which is basically just a midge, is gonna be above that, okay? Sometimes they're just keyed in on the leech and we will throw 2 leeches on there. When that happens, it gets crazy because if they're really keyed in on the black leech with this orange bead, like this is the ticket right here. Ladies, I'm letting you know a little secret. If you get a paper.
Black balance leech.
Black balance leech with the orange bead. You guys are all gonna forget that, but that's okay. Still gonna remember. So this is a go-to fly. This is exactly what we set up right when we're going there. This is a great bug.
So
we'll rip
Rob,
2 of
you,
those.
you do about 4 feet of 12 to 15 mono down to your swivel and then swivel to tippet ring. How long?
That's usually about 5 feet. Yeah.
And is that just not, is it nylon or is it?
It's mono as well.
It's mono, so, okay.
Only fluorocarbons from tippet ring down to my first 2 flies. So that's and this is, like I said, this is not the absolute only way to rig it. This is just the way that we rig it up. So with that, what you want is a little bit, yes, ma'am.
So that's a floating line?
Yes, ma'am. Not a sinking, not with the nymphing. Yes, we want a floating line. That way the bobber stays up with it. If you have a sinking line, it's gonna pull that bobber down and it's not gonna, you're gonna be like, oh man, I can't see my bobber. And it's on the bottom and you got a fish and then everybody's yelling at me about it. You didn't tell us it was floating yet.
Yeah, because you're sitting there.
One good thing too is with this setup, I know the wind can be horrible out there, especially if you're in a flow tube, but you want a little bit of wind because what happens is when it's the bobber sitting on the top, it's going up and down like this. And what that does to the flies at the bottom, once you're completely off of the weeds, it just makes those leech and that chironomid move up and down. Gives you some action so you don't have to like move it up and down yourself.
But you guys are in a boat, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're in a boat and you're stationary?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you're using that.
Yes.
Okay, because we're in
Float
fish
tube.
cats, so we're moving around.
Right. So if you could, you
We
can
do
definitely,
that, yes.
you can definitely
That's
do
what
this.
we do when we eat lunch.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, the float tubes, you can totally fish this way too.
Right.
Yeah, it works. The whole key to the nymphing is getting your flies down above the weeds.
So if you're not using a sinking line, is it just the weight of the fly that's taking?
That is correct. It's this weight. So there's a weight inside this fly that's holding it straight down like this in the water. Yes, ma'am.
So are you usually fishing in like a cove where it's a little more shallow then?
Depends. We will move around a lot. So we use both of, well, we don't have the Billy shop there, but we put it into boat ramp and we're in a drift boat. So we just row and we have the spots that, you know, that's where we like to fish and we've caught fish before we've been in there enough to know the spots. But we definitely will fish in coves. We will fish in coves, especially when there's dry fly fish going, calabatus or, you know, Mormon crickets, that kind of thing. We are definitely going to move around in it. But for us, this is the most effective way to catch fish out there. Last year was pretty rough for a lot of people, but a lot of people were throwing streamers and we were wrecking them on this rig. So much so people were like, what are they doing? Yeah, yes, ma'am.
What is your streamer made of?
This balance leech, just marabou.
Marabou? Okay, do you ever use pine squirrel?
Absolutely. Yes, that's, we're talking, I'm gonna talk to you about that in just a second. That's, there's a running joke about that, yeah. Any
Rob, can
questions?
you address, you have a slip bobber on there, like why that's important?
No slip bobber.
That's not a slip, you don't have
No,
it,
ma'am.
you don't have it set up as a slip?
No, ma'am. This
If
is,
your leader is so long, how are you going, if you have 4 feet of mono and then 12 pound, 15, and then 5 feet of mono, like you're not gonna be able to bring that in.
Miss Jill is a smart young lady. You hear what she just said? That's why we use a 10-foot rod. So we're using a foot longer and we're in a boat above the water.
Oh, the boat,
So-
I forgot,
so
okay,
that
for
makes-
us, that's gonna be, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
And not having tonight. Absolutely. That's a great question, Miss Jill. That's a.
Well, I'm usually my parameter rigs, I use a slip bobber, so
Yeah.
that way it just releases, and I use a 10-foot rod too, but it,
Mhm.
you know, on a really long, but we're on a float tube and we're down like.
Right. Yeah,
I forgot boat, like you're.
yeah.
You recalculate his measurements for.
Yeah, yes, but that's a great idea.
Scale it down, right? I
Yes,
mean,
you totally can. The whole key, like I said, the key to this rig is to get the flies as deep as you can without being in the weeds. That's the whole key. I mean, sometimes what happens is those fish are just cruising and they're just coming up and eating it. And usually, what happens is if one person hooks up,
okay, you guys,
boom, another one's gonna hook up too. And so, yeah, because those fish are running in packs like a little school. So any questions on this? This is seems like the hardest to understand, but this is the most effective way to catch fish in Stillwater. Not just Duck Valley, but anywhere. If you're going to, well,
Yes, so we're gonna adjust your formula
Mhm.
for fishing from a float tube.
Uh-huh.
Where's the best place to shorten that? Would it be
Like Miss Jill said, that's slip bobber.
split bar?
Yep. The best slip bobber that we like to use, which we don't use it very often, is an old school one. It's called Fish Pimp. I don't know if you guys remember that, those bobbers, but that is the great slip bobber. Because it's big enough, but small enough as well, not to go in that eye. And it slides through there super easy. And they still sell them. They sell them at Three Rivers Ranch as well. So that's great.
What was it called?
Fish Pimp. Mhm. I know.
we just use the little cheapy ones that you did the little loopy
Absolutely.
thing and you just, yeah.
Slide it through, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you can be in a flow tube, that you gotta have a slip bobber, yeah. And just don't get caught up on just like, oh, I'm not in the right spot. Sometimes you just gotta let that thing soak. Just let it sit out there and get your, water or eat your lunch, like Miss Pam was saying, and, just let it sit. That's the biggest thing we see. I got friends out there like, oh, we're not catching anything on it. Let's just tie on another fly. And they're just running through flies and you're just like, hey man, let it sit there for a few minutes, and so
Right.
it's supposed to be relaxing. Think about where you're at and stuff. So. All right, so I think yes, we got okay. So next gonna be the streamers. Miss Pine Squirrel. So real quick, since you said that, what's your favorite? Where'd you go? What's your favorite streamer with Pine Squirrel? Say it, please say it. Please say it.
My favorite streamer was a fine squirrel.
Mhm.
I just call them squirrels on.
Squirrel Zonker, that's a great one. Okay, I don't have one on here. Mine is a Slump Buster, and I swear by that thing. It works really well.
Yes.
Now I'm getting ready to talk a little bit more advanced streamer stuff than maybe what you guys are used to, but I hope not. Hopefully you guys understand what we're gonna go on. So streamer fishing in the springtime is the time to do it. So if you're out there in the springtime, April will be a great time, especially if it's kind of cloudy, sun kind of working a little bit about. The less wind, the better, but if there's wind, you're gonna have a better shot at it. But really if you can see this picture right here, it's kind of cloudy in the background. And but it's not super cloudy where it's overcast. This fish right here smoked a Slump Buster right here. So does anybody know who that guy is? Real quick. No, he's a coach for the Steelheads. Yeah, he's a great dude. So anyway, it's a great time in the springtime to throw it. And if I know you guys are on float tubes, and I see a lot of you guys like put that cast out there, and then you just kind of kick, which is a great way to do that too. If you're gonna throw a streamer, that's a great way. It's a good way to do it, and plus it gives you something to do, and you're getting some exercise, I guess. So I'm gonna show you how I rig up streamers, and as you can see, we got 2 flies on here. So what I like to do, and it's pretty effective, and this goes for not just Stillwater, you can run this same rig in a river, okay? It looks kind of intimidating, but it works really well. So what I like to do is at this first butt section, I will run 15-pound mono straight from there, about maybe 3 foot. And this is on floating line right now, okay? So we're on floating line, about 3 foot, 3.5 foot. To my first streamer. My first streamer is usually pretty flashy or really bright, okay? And it's usually the bigger of the two, okay? From there, I will tie a clinch knot and put a dropper onto a smaller, little bit heavier streamer on the bottom, okay? So what happens, this one's got a bead on it as well, but this one's got a little bit bigger of a bead. When you get that cast out there, let it drop. You're on a floating line, so it's not gonna sink too far. As you start stripping it in here like this back fly is gonna drop down and you're gonna move just like this little guy's trying to catch up to his daddy or his mama. Okay, what usually happens is as it's going by, fish sees that first one and either rips it or it goes by and this is a little bit lower in the water column and that's the one that they eat, okay?
They're like, oh, I missed that one, I'll get that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably 70% of the time on this kind of rig, they're gonna eat the dropper. They're gonna eat the second fly. It works really well. Miss Cassie, when I saw you last fishing, we were at a secret unknown place with, hopefully this is the way you were running.
It's not.
It's not, you should try
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah,
was just thinking that.
yes, that place,
We're doing this here.
absolutely, yeah. So, but with that, you don't have to just do the white and black. You can do any combination of this. Just make sure your second fly is a little bit smaller and a little bit heavier than your first one, and that will work.
So like, would your second one be like a tungsten bead, and then the white will be a brass bead?
No, not really brass. This one is just got a smaller, just like a nickel bead on it, a silver bead, but this one is tungsten. You're absolutely right. This is a Sculptzilla at the bottom, and so this one is just gonna drop down. That's what you're looking for as it moves in the water. And so once you get that cast out there too, the other thing that a lot of people I see when they're throwing streamers, they get that cast out there, they're like, man, I dotted that thing out far, and then they're just doing this. They're just stripping, they're just stripping. You gotta put your mind as a little bait fish that's like swimming around. It's out in the deep water where it's not supposed to be, and it's kind of scared, but it's like trying to get to the side. But it sees another little fish, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna catch up with it, you know. I try to put my head as, I know that's probably weird. Maybe I think about fishing too much, but I try to put my head as that. So I'll strip, pause, let that thing sink down, strip. I'm mixing it up the whole time. And then the second thing, and I'm sure I'm gonna preach to the choir here, you get that eat. It's this right here, strip, set, okay? If you just get the eat and you do this, what happens is these flies are in the water upside down like this, going through the water column. Fish eats it and you set it just like you would like a trout, it's gonna come out. You're gonna have a chance of losing it. But if you strip set it, it's gonna pull it straight. I'm gonna catch them right in the top of the mouth, okay? So the best way to keep that in your head, if you're missing fish and you're setting it like this, throwing streamers, best way to stick that rod tip in the water. However deep you want to go, 1 or 2 foot, strip it, Fish eats it. It's harder to lift that rod up out of the water than it is to just strip it and set it, okay? So like a guide in Florida told me one time we were fishing for tarpon. I kept lifting the rod. He's like, I just want you to keep stripping. You get to eat, keep stripping. Started doing that and we started getting tarpon to the boat. Just stripping, okay? So what's that? Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to tell you that, yeah. So 1X in between the two. Fluorocarbon. Yep. So let's talk about sink tips real quick. I don't know if a lot of you ladies like to use sink tips or intermediate or full sinking. Full sinking, once the hydrilla starts coming up, you're just gonna catch pretty much moss the whole time. So full sink about, I would steer away from that, maybe an intermediate as a 250 grain or a sink tip, maybe 15 to 20 foot at the most. The sink tip, and that would be about a 350 to 450 depending on how fast you want to strip it. So once you get into the weighted lines, it's good to just hook up with somebody and say, hey, you know, we're gonna fish here, or it gets really squirrely. So we just use the same thing. Everybody uses about a 15-foot sink tip at 350 grain. That's usually pretty standard. You can get that cast out there, you can let it drop longer, or you can start stripping right off the bat. So, but the intermediate works great too, if you want to throw the intermediate. So, any questions on the streamer? No, I must have did a good job. Usually this is the one everybody asks questions about. Okay.
What about a poly leader? What's your thoughts? I usually do full sink out at Duck Valley and I don't have any issues with the weeds unless I'm fishing like somewhere
Later.
really like in the fingers, like really shallow. But what's your thoughts on like poly leaders?
On the poly leaders, you know what? I don't really use those too much, only steelhead fishing, but that's fine. Yeah, you know, we're at Duck Valley a little bit longer into the like June, that hydrilla just comes up.
That's a different story.
Yeah, but I can see what you're saying. You know, if you're gonna throw the full sink, I think it's better, the closer you get to the bottom, the better off
I
you're
usually
gonna
have
be.
really good luck on full
That's
sink out
exactly
there,
right.
but I usually go earlier and I don't go later in the summer.
Yeah,
so.
do you, when you're in float tube, are you kicking white or are you just stripping?
Depends.
Just depends.
A little bit of both.
You should do both. I think that all you ladies, if you're in a float tube and you're throwing a sink tip or full sink or intermediate, hey, kick that thing out, you know, just like if you're float tube, kick it around.
I like to cruise around. I mean,
Yeah,
I just like to
absolutely.
kind of keep moving. I mean, if I hit a hot hole, then,
Yeah,
you know, I'll even anchor, but you know, I just like to, yeah, I do a little bit of both.
you know what we call that? There's actually, we have a name for it. If we're like rowing or whatever, and we start sticking fish, we call it the portal. Like, that's the portal right there, yeah. And that dude instantly just locks in our head like, oh, dude, I gotta remember that spot. So if you find a spot like that, which is probably a little depression or a drop off or something, remember that spot if you can. I mean, get your phone out
Throw
and,
a pin.
yeah, drop that pin.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So we already did the nymphs, didn't we? Yeah. Let's see, I was gonna do that. I think the next one's gonna be dry fly, sorry. we already talked.
So you had a 10-foot 6 weight and then what, a 9-foot
9 foot 6 weight.
6 weight as well?
Yeah, okay, so this one is, this one's a pretty fun one. This one is kind of tough and it's just as swirly as fishing dry flies on a river, trying to match that hatch out there. Last year I had a guy trip where I had 2 guys, we row out there, they're super nice guys, tell them what we're doing, we're throwing the nymph rig, and the guy in the front of the boat was an older guy, and he sits down and he goes, what are we doing? And I was like, man, we're fishing. I was like, as soon as that bobber goes down, man, set that hook. He's like, this is not fly fishing. And I was like, really, what do you mean? And he was like, we're supposed to be throwing dry flies. And I was like, oh man, okay. So I was like, all right. So another guide was out there, so I reel him up and I get him set up with some dry fly stuff and I start rowing. With that, you need to be in the shallows, okay? If you're gonna look for dry fly fishing, so the whole day I just rode the boat along the edges and the other guide out there texts me, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we're throwing dry flies. And he's like, put the nymph rig on, we're crushing it. And these guys did not do it. They did not think it was fly fishing. But anyway, it wasn't this guy, it was a different guy. But yeah, it's a lot tougher to do in stillwater. But if you get a hatch going on, it's probably gonna be chironomids or calabatus, okay? So I always keep calabatus in my box. Flies when I'm out there, just never know. With that, it's a little bit different than river fishing. Well, kind of, but maybe a little bit different. You gotta lengthen that leader up. You gotta drop the size of the tippet down. I don't have a dry fly rod. I should have brought one. I meant to bring one. But you definitely want to lengthen that leader up. Short leaders are not going to work. Minimum 12-foot leader. Okay, so probably trying to stick with about 3x as your bottom piece of tippet, and it's gonna be a longer one. You wanna stick with complete mono from leader down to tippet, no fluorocarbon on that, okay? That's the tough one. With that, if you wanna throw a dropper, you can. It's got to match what the hatch is coming off. A chironomid, BWOs, any type of the calabatus as well. With that, I like to have the clients, when they get that shot out there, they drop it, nothing's happening, and they've got the dropper. I just tell them, hey, nice, slow strips. Okay, so you can do this easily in the flow tube. You get the cast, you saw fish working by the weeds or whatever. This is the strip. It's just a nice slow strip. It's nice slow. You got to remember these bugs are super small. They're just working on that water column that's on the top of the water. Nice and slow. If you start stripping it like it's moving fast, they're gonna push off of it. Okay, and also when they come up and nose it, don't set it. It's so hard, I know. Don't set it, just let it. They're just seeing if they can nose it and seeing if it was real. Sometimes that fly will fold over and then that's when they grab it, okay? So I know it's tough and I do it too. I'll set the hook right on the net as soon as that fish comes up and noses it. But if you can be patient enough to let it nose and it folds over, they're gonna grab it, okay? All right, hoppers work really good out there too, later into the season. Now, has anybody been down there when the Mormon crickets are going?
No.
Yes,
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 that was on the road. You climb on your phone too.
they are everywhere. So little secrets.
Them with my car.
Yeah, I know, and our boats get covered with them, but if you're there at the beginning of the Mormon cricket
Ugh.
hatch or whatever you wanna call it, you need to get the biggest, gnarliest salmon fly that you can find. And they will go bananas for that thing. So that's the fun time. But after about a week of them being there, they're not gonna eat it. They are full. And
What's that?
it's in June, yeah. So if you're there at the beginning,
That's,
get that salmon
that's what
fly.
I tried. We were in the water and there was thousands of
Thousands of them
crickets
there.
floating in the water. They were
Yes.
crawling all over us.
They're
And so I
everywhere.
got tight on this really big fly, and
Yes.
they would take all the Mormon crickets next to it and not take my fly.
Did you strip it a little bit?
I did, I
Did
tried
you?
to make it look like.
Yeah, like it's jumping.
What I did, I probably shouldn't have, but I,
Tied one of the crickets to it?
no, I, yeah, I did, I fetched the cricket out there and wrapped my line it right on the salmon fly, and I got one to take it, but I didn't slip the hook, I
That's all right. That's all right. That's actually a good idea. That's a good idea. That's funny. Well, maybe you were there like a week or so after, because once they've been in there a while, they will not. They just. Were they eating it?
Cricket's like mad, like,
Really?
hey, I'm home.
It's so fun.
And so I took that big salmon, had a big orange bead, and I threw it out there, and they were eating all around it, but they would not take that artificial one.
Fish, well.
I grabbed the Mormon cricket, pulled it in, I wrapped the line around it and casted it out there.
That's funny.
People take that Mormon cricket, I'm like, oh, I did.
That's so fun. It's so fun. So anyway, any questions on that, on the dry flies? I want to say stillwater fly fishing for dry flies is a little bit tougher, but it can be done and I love it when it starts to go off, so. All right, trip planning, this is gonna be a good one for you guys, for when you guys go out there. As you can see, check the weather conditions, rainfall, muddy roads. Exactly right. So the next one is study the wind forecast. This is a huge one for us that we look at every.
Can you tell me an
time.
accurate one, please?
Yeah, so the accurate one, I think it's on the next one, real quick, I'll show you the next one real quick, when to say. So I'll show you the next app, it's on there, there you go, that weather app, it's called Wind Speed. And it's got, you can see the little yellow dot up there, you can move that dot wherever you want it to go. And it will tell you the wind direction, speed, everything at
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
It's a great app. For us, we have to really watch it, and if you guys are in flow tubes, you should really be looking at some type of wind app, because never know out there, those storms come right over the top.
Hey, and I'm just gonna interject really quickly here. So if we have anybody who's new to float tubing and you're planning on going to Duck Valley, I would recommend getting out in your float tube well before, get that sorted out, get used to it. When the wind comes up, I will tell you from experience, thank you, Barbara, for rescuing me 3 years, whatever that was. That, yeah, I mean, I was fairly new to float tubing at the time and I got swept out there and it scared the daylights out of me. I mean, luckily I had been in my tube a couple times. So I but I could only imagine if I had never been in my float tube, I would have just died. So just, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it is a safety thing. Like you want to make sure like you're comfortable in your gear before you go out there.
He told me when the wind picks up, take to shore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, remember I was in the weeds and I couldn't even get to shore.
Of the lake,
Yeah.
my, I gotta go get her.
Yeah. Yeah, where you
Like,
going?
coming to get out.
When you, white caps.
Yes.
She was in the middle of the lake,
Yeah.
not by the shore.
Oh, it was,
That's sketchy.
and I promptly went out and got a float tube that had paddles on.
Yeah.
And now I have a frameless pontoon, so.
And I had pontoon with oars, so I had them out there.
Yeah, and got me,
I
she sewed me
said,
in.
Jill, do you need help?
Well, the problem was my legs were cramping. I had leg cramps and I couldn't use
The
it.
water's cold.
Yeah.
The water's cold, especially if you're
It
sitting
was
in the water
gnarly.
all day.
It was frightening.
Water's cold.
Had I not gotten leg cramps, I probably could have gotten back
Made
in,
it back.
but.
Yeah, well, anytime that you're out there, you guys should all be on the same team. We're out there, we see what's going on too. If we ever see anybody in trouble like that, we're in a boat, so we're a little bit easier. We can row over and help you guys out. So,
So we tell everybody to bring whistles, but is there a particular
It's the law.
signal?
so
3 whistles.
3
I
whistles.
was gonna say,
You gotta ignore.
Yes,
the actually fishing game has a great whistle. We use it when we're whitewater fly fishing on the kayak. We use their whistles.
Is it just the little plastic ones?
It's a big one. Yeah, it's
Oh,
a big orange one. It comes with a lanyard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
works good.
super- I mean, that's like.
It's a big one. Yeah, it is super loud. Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea.
Time at Duck Valley in my float too. I was busy tying a fly on and not paying attention that the wind just picked up suddenly,
Yep.
and next thing I knew, I was in the reeds. And I couldn't get out, and I'm blowing my whistle 3 times, pause, 3 times, pause.
Oh,
And here comes this little guy in a little boat with a little motor, 2 people, and I'm waving, and they're all waving back. I called my husband up on my cell phone, and I'm like, oh my God. And he goes, I'm not calling 911 to get you off the thing, you're just gonna have to figure it out.
Figure it
So I
out.
got so
It's
mad.
out. That's all right. I mean, you know, at least you're you made it. Yeah, but yeah, be safe out there.
Energy.
Yes, it will. Yeah, that will definitely keep you pushing.
Just to relieve the ladies though, usually we count or we know.
Yeah.
And so, like when we've had storms in the past, even the ones that have gotten off, we stand there and we make sure everybody's off the water. Lisa has gone and knocked on camper doors and said, can you take your boat and go get this person?
Absolutely.
We watch out for you,
Yeah,
so.
That's good. That's
You
a-
know, I
We do.
mean, just make sure you're not fishing by yourself because there are those little coves and you can't always be seen,
Yeah,
but.
that's true. It's just always have a good friend out there with you, you know, or even if you don't know the person, at least be in some kind of eyesight of somebody that, you know, you can blow the whistle or whatever. So,
Exactly, because usually, and when we've been out there, the guys have been out there with their little motors and they'll help some of the
yeah,
ladies.
take them
in.
out. That's good. So the last couple little things, you gotta have a fishing license, for, Duck Valley. This year is the first year that they're doing it. You can get it online.
It's so nice.
Nice, yes. So my suggestion with that, we had a meeting with Fish and Game last week. My suggestion is if you got that online, some way to print that off and just put it in the dash of your vehicle. It's gonna save you a bunch of time. So that's what we're gonna start doing with the clients as well. But you don't have to. They're gonna have your license plate and they'll be able to look it up by your license plate.
Also, if.
That's exactly right.
If you purchase your license before January 1st,
Mhm.
like this, I went through this. I purchased my 2026 license December 18th. Okay, did it online, everything, paid for it, got the receipt, and only then did I notice when I got the receipt, it said from December 18th to January, to December 31st.
Yep.
Make sure if you want to purchase for the next year's before the end of that year,
Yep,
change the date.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think that they're selling licenses, just so people know, I don't believe Sportsman's
They're
carry
not.
No, you can
anymore.
only buy.
I'm not even sure Cabela's is.
They're not. The only person, and I talked to Tim this morning, is Idaho.
Idaho
Angler.
Anglers,
He's
yeah.
asked them if you want to pay for copies.
Is this year?
just the general Idaho fishing license?
Okay.
Just for Duck Valley.
Yeah, this is a Duck Valley.
Folks, if you go to our events, I have put the links, that information in the event information on our website for signups, and there is a link to go and purchase your passes.
Oh, that's purchase it by day or by years.
Yeah.
And you get
It's-
family, or family.
It's $150 a year.
But you can go for a family.
All year.
And you get free dry camping if you
And-
purchase a year.
But if you do just for the day, it's $25 a day. So if you buy $150, that's 6 days of fishing Duck Valley. And once you fish there one day, you will wanna go back.
This is 6 days over if you have family with you by the family pass, but that's 200.
Anywhere that there's.
So I go down for day trips all the time.
Anywhere that there's no pickups. And I don't need to, I guess, that was gonna be at the event. It'll be
Yeah,
pretty-
go to WFI.club and go under the number event and scroll down and find Duck Valley and all the information.
Okay, thank you so much.
And the last thing I want to talk to you about before we get into some alternate species stuff is, while you're down there, kind of support the reservation as well. There's a great little grocery store if you're camping out or whatever, and you're like, oh man, I forgot the mustard. Instead of just like, nah, I don't want to get the mustard, just go down there and support them. It's a great, everybody's super nice there. There's a nice deli there as well.
Yeah, the
If you
East
look at
Park.
lunch, yeah.
And that little
I have never been to the Lake Shaw before. I get.
a trailer there that sells the fried bread.
Fried bread is
Oh my God. it
so
is
good.
done.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, so support those guys as you're in there too. So other than that, that was it. So the alternate species, and we're gonna get into some last little bit. We were talking about perch and smallmouth bass and grass carp. The smallmouth bass, if you're out there in early-ish June, they're gonna be on their beds by the boat ramps. And if you want to catch a big bass, that's the time. You got the streamer going, you're gonna catch a big bass. I had so much fun at the boat ramp last year with two young guys. They had just as much fun casting to these bass that are right at the boat ramp as they did in the boat. It was so much fun to watch them. Okay, so grass carp are in there too, but mostly they're gonna be in Mountain View. If you catch one of those, it's a fun time. You guys are allowed to keep as many of these as you want. Well, except for the carp. I don't think you can keep the carp. I think they put them in there to keep some of the weeds and stuff down. But bass and the perch, I think you're allowed to keep as many as you want. So, but I don't eat any of it, so we'll forget it. So anyway, the last few pictures are just fish that we've had clients catch. Notice where we're at. We're in some shallow water right there. We did pull the boat over a little bit, but we were just throwing scuds. We had double scuds, no weight, nothing on there, just like you would throw dries, casting it out and just slow stripping in, just nice slow strips. And they were on the scud eats.
Yeah,
So-
I harvest fish out of Duck Valley because it is the best tasting
so
trout.
good.
I know.
It's
Is
like
it?
salmon.
It is
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
And if you cut their guts open, they're full of snails.
Oh, really? I
So,
believe
yeah,
that.
it's- Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I believe that. And this is a big boy right here. This one's all nymphing. Right here is pretty fun. And they do get a little squirrely. As you can see the front of their face, that's from them running into the
The
side of the
runway.
hatchery as they're growing up. Yeah. Yeah. So-
Yeah, we've gotten some.
Those big boys come from Oregon.
Yeah, they do. They come from Oregon. Yeah, and then this is just another one that's we're out there. That's Shane. That's the head guide of Cascade. He's the guy that I work with a ton. And then the last one is me throwing slump busters out there. It was so fun. Actually, an hour later, I hooked myself. That's really good. So that's all I got. Any questions on any of that stuff? Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to ask you about the river.
The river.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know that much about it. I do know that they do stock salmon in there, but that is not, we're not allowed to do anything in.
Yeah, so, like only the natives can.
Natives the only, yeah, we don't fish the river, we should, but.
I think when you buy it, your permit includes the
Then they might have changed it. because
East Oahe, the East Fork.
Yeah.
The Oahe River on the reservation, only the Native Americans can fish it. That's what I was told by
Really?
now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Mel
so-
would know.
Now we know.
Oh, but no, yeah, yeah.
Cause we fished it one time.
Did you?
It was so windy, we couldn't go. on the
Interesting,
Stillwater.
okay.
But that was years ago.
I should do it. I've never fished it, never fished it.
Have you ever been to Wild Horse?
Yes. Yes, we have. Yeah. Yes, we were just talking about that earlier. It's a great fishery too. Now that one you will need a Nevada license.
Right, because it's.
That one does not. Yeah, that's a great fishery too. With that one, if you're in a float tube, that one's a little bit swirly, so just be careful out there, ladies. It gets deep really, really quick.
Yeah,
Really
so
quick.
you would need, that one would be better in a boat.
I mean, that's all we do is boats. I would feel a little bit more comfortable. It's not that you can't do it. What's that?
Do you guide what?
No, ma'am. That's a Nevada permit. I don't even know if you can get permitted for that one. Yeah, so, but if you get a chance, you should fish that reservoir. You should fish that reservoir. There's some big tiger trout in there.
Wow.
There's some big tiger trout, big rainbows, big browns. It's a good fishery and it's a good sized reservoir too. Then you're allowed motors in there, so just be careful.
So you can just go online in Nevada, put your game,
Yep.
and get a license.
Yep, you sure can. Yeah. Any other questions on Duck Valley? Any?
How did
Yes.
you, that day that those two purists were with you?
We did, yeah. We did not catch as many fish as the other guy was out there, but we did catch a few fish. And for them, it was just like, hey, this was exactly what we wanted. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm super stressed out because I looked over and the other guy is just, both of them are just like, one of them on the boat. And I'm like, ah, man. But what's funny, they both rebooked. They both rebooked for this year as well. So they had that good of a time. So it's pretty fun. They were super nice guys and they could really cast. I think that was the best part. So it was super fun. But yeah, and also if you see our boats, we're in white hide drift boats that has Cascade, our logo on it. Please come over and say hi or hey, we saw
We'll
your
just head
presentation.
over and go get you beer.
Absolutely. Slide over there with us. Absolutely. Yes.
But you said a full day float, that's 2 anglers?
Yes.
Okay, so do you guys provide lunch or?
We provide everything, rods, reels, waders, boots, everything you can need except for your fishing license. Yeah.
So if you already have an annual fishing license?
What's that?
If you already have an annual.
Yeah, then you're good to go. Yeah.
So what is your timeline that you?
Okay, so that's a great question. Out there, we guide only from about like right now, depending on the weather. Usually last year there was ice. We were still dealing with ice. So we didn't do any guide trips out there. This year's a lot warmer. So we've got a little bit earlier start. We usually start around April 1st and we watch the water temperatures, which is usually around mid-June, and we're done at that point. We have done guide trips when the water temperature starts to come down in September, but the hydrilla is so high in there, it makes it tough because you're nymphing out there or stripping streamers, you're just catching weeds the whole time.
Now, do you ever do October, November before the ice is?
So we don't because we are then in Oregon guiding for steelhead at that point. Yeah, so we're in October. Yes, ma'am.
Just curious, I'm very new to fly fishing. What is bad about high water temperatures?
So that it will actually shut the fish. You can kill the fish. So trout are cold-blooded. They need cold water, and the warmer the temperature, it just really is not good for them because they're like trying to run a marathon once you hook them up. And they're trying to run a marathon. It'd be like you trying to run a full marathon and it's 100 degrees outside.
Oh, okay.
And so it can kill them. It will actually like messes their
So
blood.
is it from pulling them up from the cold water down
No.
deep, or is it just all the exercise getting to your top?
Yeah, it's not very deep, so that water temperature just gets up high. The things that I feel personally, I could be wrong, that saves those fish is the hydrilla because it makes shade and they can get down to the bottom. So those, I know it sucks for us because we can't fish, but the hydrilla is what's keeping those fish alive through the heat of the summer, July and August.
Yeah, when it's hot, they don't move around a lot, they just kind of conserve, because they don't want to get overheated. So when they get hooked and then they're fighting it, they're like using a
And
lot
then
of
it's-
energy and so their body temperature goes.
Oh, and it like kills them.
And it's oxygen in the water too. When the water
Oh,
is
that's true.
warmer, there's less oxygen in the water, and when it's cooler, there's more oxygen.
Is there like a water temperature that we shouldn't fish at? Like is
68 and above.
68 and
That's
above?
usually like the That's like, yeah, for trout.
Yeah, that's perfect. If you're looking for smallmouth bass, that's when you throw the poppers. It's
Yeah.
98 degrees. That thing is,
Or you
that's
want crappie, you
yeah,
want
crappie.
at 60 degrees.
that's perfect.
Just Google it.
Good
There's all
question,
kinds
yeah.
of, like-
I didn't even know that was a thing.
No, it's
Thank you.
no, it's also.
Learning stuff.
We fish trout fall, winter and spring.
Mhm.
And in the summer months, we fish bass and crappie and catfish and
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that.
Or
Absolutely.
you go to the rivers where they're colder.
Yeah, or you go up higher, yeah.
Do you go to Hawaii where it's just freezing? all
Yeah,
the-
that's right, Ms.
All the
Bill's
time.
right. The water's coming out of the bottom of the
Bottom.
dam instead of coming from the top.
That water is.
It is because it's like 1,000 feet deep in the Hawaii River and it's, I mean, the Hawaii Reservoir, so it's coming from the bottom of that, so that's like iceberg
It's like
water.
47 degrees year round.
It's cold, yeah, it's cold.
So yeah, you
Wet
can't go there and your
water.
feet are freezing,
Okay.
but you have to put the fish back in the water right.
Okay. Good to
Get
know.
these right.
Yeah, so feel free to come out and say hi to us if you see us out there. We might be out there at that time with you guys, but we'll be at Billy Shop. So yeah, by all means, if you see us, there's a couple of us guys. We all have the same boats. We all have a hide white drift boat with the Cascade logo on the bottom.
So you're gonna be out there the weekend that everybody's gonna be.
Yeah, so right now we fluctuate between the North Fork of the Payette and Duck Valley. And so it just depends on, I'd rather be at Duck Valley because there's bigger fish, but that's just me. But we don't get to.
No, but what's going in Rob's mind is there's gonna be 60 people out there minimum, like, I'm gonna stay the hell away from that.
I'm gonna be like, hey, why don't you guys head down there? Yeah, Matt, you're, yeah. That's it. Any other questions, lady? You guys are great. This is actually fun. Yes, ma'am.
When you say North Fork, are you talking about the Cabarton section?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's, we got that section in the South Fork of the Payette Swirly Canyon.
Yeah.
That's our summertime fishery. Now that water's freezing and, in the summertime, it's really hot. Yeah, so that's the section we do, there. And then, we'll go back to the Cabarton in September. And then in all of October and half of November, we guide on the Grand Ron. So, there was talk of that, you ladies, we do offer a 4 and 5 day overnight steelhead trips. I think there was some talk, something like that, so it's super cush. Yeah, so, yeah,
Did we get?
That's the one.
yes, that is an Oregon, outside of the Grand.
So you'd have to get an Oregon license, well, you have to,
Yeah.
you're gonna go to Hawaii anyway.
Yeah.
We just have to get a steelhead license, steelhead tags, I should say, so.
And when do you start those?
We start that usually around the second week of October.
Okay, because my friend and I, Felicia and I wanna do a steelhead head this October.
Yeah, we're booked up this season, but. if
Oh,
you
see
want-
how you are?
Yeah. Next year, we might do 2 crews, we're talking 2 crews, just, yeah.
I have touch on the cool spots.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So we actually have a female guide that does great, and Miss Cassie has came to her, she does a fly fishing 101 and a fly